loop in this, the basic loops of C++, the third loop is this while loop. And the syntax of this while loop is, I can simply write while in my bracket I will write condition, some condition. I will not write increment or decrement in these conditions. I have to change the variable in my body of while loop only. I will tell you. So the syntax is while any condition in the bracket and the body of while loop, you can say, and some instructions written inside this loop, in this while loop. Now in this statement, in this first statement, it will check the condition, written inside this bracket, and if the condition evaluates to be true, is found to be true, then the code inside the while loop is executed. If this condition is true, it will go inside the body of while loop and it will perform all the tasks written between these curly brackets. If this condition, okay, and after the completion of these codes inside the bracket, inside the body of while loop, it will again go to same condition and check whether this condition is true or false. If it is true, in second iteration, if it is true, then again it will go, compiler will go inside the body of loop and then it will execute again all the statements written inside these curly brackets. On third time, it will again go to condition and it will check. It will go back and forth until or unless this condition becomes false. Whenever this condition becomes false, it will come, this compiler will come directly to the line written after this curly bracket. So while is basically, I can say in Hindi, we call this while as jab tak. While means जब तक ये कंडीशन आपकी ट्रू है तब तक वो इसके अंदर की बॉडी को एग्जीक्यूट करता रहेगा. Whenever the condition inside this while loop become false, it will jump outside the while loop. Compiler will jump outside the while loop. Right? So this process continues. The process of executing this instructions written inside the body of while loop will continues until the condition is false. And whenever the condition becomes false, the loop terminates and it will come outside the while. It will come outside the while. Right? A very simple example of this while loop is, suppose I write, tell me the out, I will write the code and you have to tell me the output. Right? I will write a very simple code. Suppose I have written a integer, I have initialized a integer, let's say I by value 1. And I have inserted a loop, while loop, while I less than equal to 5. There is no semicolon after this condition. Curly brackets. I will write body of while loop. See out I and some space. Let's say some space. Then I am writing. Then I am writing I is equal to I plus 1. I is equal to I plus 1, and I am changing my. I am closing my body. Okay, and then okay, so can you tell me in first iteration what will happen? See, initially the value of I is 1, so it will evaluate this condition. It will evaluate this condition, and yes, this condition is true. So it will go inside the body of while loop. It will print the value of, it will print the content of variable I. So in first iteration, it will print 1. Then after this statement, I have written I is equal to I plus 1. So this statement will update the value of I by increasing it with 1. So after the compilation of this line, the value of I will stand at 2. Again, this after this before this curly bracket, it will go to this condition again. It will again check 2 is less than equal to 5. Yes, it will again go inside the body of loop and it will print 2. Then again, this condition will change the value, will update the value of I by 1 by increasing the value of I by 1, and hence now after the end of second iteration, the value of iteration stands at 3. Again, it will check this value. Again, this while condition is true, so it will again print the content of I, which will be 3, 4, and 5. Now after the fifth iteration, this I will go to 6. Even this I, the value of this I is now 6, but still before this closing bracket, it will go to this condition, and then 6 is less than equal to 5 is a statement which is false. So this time it will not go inside the body. It will not go inside the body. It will directly jump to any line which is written after this curly bracket, and which is I am writing as end program. So it will end the program. So for comparison, I will write for I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 5, I plus plus, C out, I, and bracket. Similarly, if I write, I have to initialize it first. In case of if I am using while loop, I have to give some values to variable before the while loop. While I less than equal to 5, body, C out, I, and I is equal to I plus 1, and then. So basically, these both of these statement should produce same output. Okay, but yes, every loop has its disadvantage as well as advantage. In some next programs, you will see in some cases for loop realization is difficult than while loop, और द वाइस वर्सा. कुछ केसेस में फॉर लूप आपका ज्यादा इजी रहेगा यूज करना, कुछ केसेस में वाइल लूप आपका ज्यादा इजी रहेगा. बट आई एम टेलिंग इजी रहेगा, इट विल बी इजी टू यूज एनी वन पर्टिकुलर लूप, बट आई डोंट थिंक it is impossible to make any program which you can make with while loop but you cannot make with for loop और vice versa. ऐसा कोई प्रोग्राम शायद नहीं होगा जो केवल आप फॉर लूप से ही बना सकते हैं, वाइल लूप से नहीं बना सकते हैं. आई थिंक सारे प्रोग्राम्स आपके फॉर लूप से अगर बनते हैं तो वाइल लूप से भी बनने चाहिए. ओके, बट द task for you is you have to make a simpler program, a shorter program. Okay, so in some cases sometimes while loop is beneficial, and in some cases sometimes for loop is beneficial. Okay, so yes, you can use these type of different loops, but yes, if is slightly different than for and while, but I can say for loop and while loop are supplementary to each other. They can be replaced, they can be used. in place of one another. So okay, I will tell you, just I want to see any assignment of for loop. Is assignment 3? Okay, this was for if else if. So assignment 2, yes, each of these questions you can, again this is of if loop. Each of the question which you have solved can be solved also with the help of while loop. Yes, see in this case, in first question, you can see you have to generate the value of temperature from 20 to 70 degree in interval of 5. So can you tell me how we can do this particular question using while loop? You are supposed to print temperature values from 20 to 70 in gap of 5. Yes, can anyone tell me how I can make this program, how I can make first program of for loop with the help of while loop? I have to generate temperatures like this, 20, 25, 30 up to 70. Can you tell me how I can
Sir,
make
we will
this?
start with 20.
Yes,
Sir, I
yes.
is equal
I is
Integer is
equal
equal
to
to 20.
20, very good.
While and while
While I
is then
is less than
less than equal
less
to 70.
equal to 70.
is equal to 70, very good.
C out
I
of I. Out.
C out of I, then
I equals to
I
I
equal
plus
I plus 5.
I plus 5.
very good. So this program will generate the desired output, right? So in this way, yes, you can make other programs also. Generate the values of x from 1 to 20 in increment of 1 and calculate the value of y is equal to x square at each value of x. Display the output in table format. Okay. So what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to make a program which will calculate something, which will generate a table of this one 1, 2, 3 up to 20 and the squares of this number 1, 4, 9 and 400. So for this, can you tell me how you can solve this problem with the help of while loop? Tell me the variable initialization. Yes, anyone?
I is equal to 1
I is equal to 1 while
while I is less than equal to 20.
I is less than equal to 20.
C out of
C out of
I
I
space
space
I power
I, right? And after this,
I plus 1 is equal to.
okay, very good, right? And also you can, instead of this I is equal to I plus 1, you can simply write I plus plus also, post decrement. Okay, you can simply write I plus plus also. as we have discussed the pre-increments and post-increments of this type of variables. Last program for while loop, I will consider you have understood the while loop. If you tell me how I can generate factorial of a number using while loop. How I can generate factorial of a number using while loop. So initially I will write cout, enter any number, c into any variable, let's say a. Then I will, okay, then tell me how I can calculate the factorial of that particular number using while loop.
Initialize in factorial equal to 1.
Factorial is equal to 1, very good. Then
While
yes,
loop
while
I less than or equal to a,
okay, then
cout
cout. See, we will perform the calculations of multiplication, right? Like if I write factorial, fact is equal to fact into I. Then in next line, if I write I is equal to I plus 1, then you can see as the value of I is increased by 1 in each iteration, and the new value of I is multiplied to the previous value of factorial, and is now this product is now stored into a variable factorial, right? So in this way, okay, and this I will change up to a only. So for first iteration, this will be factorial, new value will be 1 into 1. In second iteration, it will be 1 into 2. In third iteration, it will be 2 previous value of factorial into new value of I, which will be 6. In fourth iteration, it will be 6 into 4, 24. You can see that actually we are generating factorials of given number, and up to this a will decide the number of iterations which will be performed before the while condition goes to false. Okay, so yes, this particular program will create the output. After this complete body of while loop, you can write cout factorial of number is fact, is that variable. Okay, so I think we should try to do this problem. Okay, what is it? I will declare variable int a I. So I will initialize this variable factorial by 1. Okay, I will ask the user to enter number of which you want to find factorial, and I will insert this number, I will store this number into a variable, let's say a. Then I will create a condition while bracket I less than equal to a, then perform the multiplication, fact is equal to fact into I, and after this performing this multiplication, increase the value of I by 1, right? And in last, give me the output. Right? So if I run this program, okay, I think I have not entered the main program.
Yes, sir.
So if I write 6, it will print factorial of given number is 1. So tell me why it is showing 1. Tell me why it is showing 1. Can anyone find mistake in this?
Such should be inside the bracket.
Okay, it is going infinitely inside this. While I is less than a, it will go to this.
So returns to
Yeah.
Sir, I is equals to factorial plus 1.
I is equal to factorial plus 1. Why? Why it is so? Okay.
Sir, should we have to give I equal to 1?
Yes. 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 Very good. Because we are not initializing I anywhere. In for loop, we are automatically initializing I by something, but in this case, we were not initializing the value of I. That's why it was creating, you can say, random number of iterations. Okay. So in this case, you have to remember 3 things. In while loop, you have to remember 3 things. You have to initialize the variable which you are using. You have to initialize that variable, and you also have to change that variable within the body of while loop also. So this has to be I equal to 1. In previous case, we have written I is equal to 1 and we have started checking this condition. But in this case, we missed this I is equal to 1. Okay. So yes, In this way, let's calculate the factorial of any number with the help of while loop also. Okay. Can we, okay. Should I take more examples on this while loop? Every question which was for loop assignment, you can also make with the help of while loop. Even if you see in question number 7, you are supposed to generate a multiplication table of any number. Take the number from user. This program you can also very easily you can make it with while loop. Even these questions, generate a list of n even and odd numbers. Also find the sum of n even numbers and odd numbers separately. This question also you can do with the help of while loop. Okay. Okay. See, there are some benefits of this for loop, this while loop. Suppose you want to make a program, I will give you an example in which while loop is exclusively in that program while loop should be exclusively used. But I am still not saying this particular program cannot be done with for loop. It can also be done with for loop with some modifications. But yes, while loop in this particular case is very easy. So you are supposed to make a program which will take numbers from user, which will take numbers from user. It will add all the numbers given, and it will continue to add these numbers until or unless a negative number is given. So the program is, you are asking some numbers from the user. Let's say user has entered a number 7, and after that you will again ask a number from the user and he enters 12, and after that you again ask a number from the user. After that he write 3. In the next number entered by user is suppose -2. Then at this particular point at which the program should stop. As soon as the user entered any negative number, the program should stop, and it should show the output as the sum of the number which were entered before entering a negative number. So the output of this program should be 22. So क्या प्रोग्राम है, यूजर से कंटिन्यूसली नंबर लेने हैं, उन नंबर्स को ऐड करते जाना है एक वेरिएबल में, और वो प्रोसेस तब तक चलेगा जब तक यूजर कोई नेगेटिव नंबर एंटर ना करे. As soon as the user enters a negative number, this program should stop and it should give the output as sum of the number entered by the user before entering a negative number. This is the program. This is the problem. Now you have to solve this problem with the help of your while loop. So if I make a program, first I will make on this, then we will go to GDB compiler. Suppose you have declared some variable int number. Sum is equal to 0. I have declared a variable sum and initialize it with variable with value 0. See out I am doing. See out, enter a number, and I am entering into this C in number. Okay. Up to this is a simple point. But now I will use while. While the number entered by user is this, is positive, I must say, while the number entered by user is positive, add this number, add the number into variable sum. Sum plus equal to number. I have told you sum plus equal to means sum is equal to sum plus number. This combination of these symbols plus and equal to is actually equal to this line. Sum plus is equal to number is actually equal to sum is equal to sum plus number. Okay, I can, in short form, I can write this sum plus is equal to number. And after this, I will be in this while loop body, in the body of this while loop, I will see out, enter next number. And I will insert this number into my variable number. And I will not update the value of number within the body of this while loop. I will just close the while loop. Now you have to understand this, what this program will do. The first number entered by user will be checked. If it is positive, it will be added into a variable sum. Next, it will ask in the body of while loop itself, it will ask for next number, and it will store that next number into variable number. In this, before this bracket, it will again go to while loop. If this condition is true, yes. If the number entered by user is positive, it will again do the same thing. It will again add that number into this variable sum. It will update the value of variable sum by new number, and again it will ask next number, new number, and it will store into a variable number. Again it will check whether this number is positive or not. So it will go up to infinite. It can go up to infinite numbers entered by the user until or unless the user enter a negative value to stop this program. Okay, until or unless a user enters a negative value to stop this program. Okay, so this is basically these type of programs. I am giving you idea about these type of programs because these type of programs are actually very helpful in economics. Okay, in economics, in accounts, you will see there will be some large text files which you are supposed to enter. Okay. In those cases, I will also in last of this course, in last of this semester, we will also try to solve some basic problems of economics as well as some basic problems of physics also. I will explain the problem and then I will give you the solution also. So for this program, let's see how I can make this. We have written cout enter number, and I am entering this into let's say into number. Okay. This I will delete. I have to declare some variables, number, sum, and I have to initialize this sum is equal to 0. Then in while loop, I will check whether the given number is positive or not. So I will write this. Then in this, I will update the value of sum by adding the content of variable number into this variable sum. After this, I will again change the value of this variable number by the new value given by user. Is equal to sum. Okay. In this case, you have to understand this thing. I am not changing the value of number by anything. I am just replacing the value of number by a quantity which is entered by the user each time. In each iteration, I will change the value of number by a quantity which is entered by the user. Okay, so if I run this program, enter number 5. So the first number is 5. Again, it will ask enter number. I will press 6. Suppose again it will ask enter number. I am pressing 4. Again it will ask enter number. I will now press 3. Let's say suppose. In next, I want to exit the loop. So if I enter minus anything, -4, let's say, then this program will terminate and it will return the value of variable sum of these 4 numbers. So if I press, it will show me sum of entered positive numbers is 18. So 6 plus 5 is 11, 11 plus 4 is 15, 15 plus 3 is 18. So it is actually adding all the numbers entered by the user before user enter any negative number. Okay. So in this way, this particular problem has extremely become simple if we are using while loop. If you try to solve the same problem with the help of for loop, it will be quite difficult. It will be quite difficult. Okay, but yes, you can. I think you can solve this with for loop also. But yes, you have to decide for any particular problem which loop will be more beneficial. Which loop will be more beneficial, or you can say more easy way to tackle the problem. Right? Okay. Again, if I run this program you keep in your mind, I will be using the same program with some modifications in each and every topic, in each further topics, like in go to statements, in continue statement, I will use this program. So again, if I let's say if I enter 6 and directly I will write -2, then it should show what should be the value it should show.
6.
6. Very good. So it will directly show you the value. Sum of entered positive number is 6. Okay. So these type of statements, these type of questions can be solved with the help of while loop.